What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading California for NAMM 2019. We are at the Rapco Horizon booth, completely isolated from everybody else right now, and we are here with Buckcherry. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. This is great.
Doing great.
Are we heavy enough to be on your show?
I've interviewed black metal bands, but I'm happy to interview. I just interviewed New Year's Day as well, so we go all along the spectrum.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we have some songs in Drop T. It's kind of metal.
Yeah, Drop T. We're still two whole steps high.
Probably right. What's a whole step? You're talking Greek.
Yeah, right.
So the newest record is Warpaint, which is coming out this year. If you just want to go down the line, give a rundown on how the making of it for each of you was.
Well, let's start with Stevie here.
Well, Warpaint, we started writing. Josh and I started writing that about, I'd say, a couple years ago. The band was splintering, and we were also working on another group called Josh Todd and the Conflict. But all along the way, we would start archiving ideas, and we did that for a couple years. And then this year, we got together. And we got together with Mike Plotnikoff, who produced our most successful album to date, 15. And we recorded that. We pulled it apart, put it back together, and recorded it. And that's what's coming out March 8th.
Awesome. How'd it go for you?
Man, I told Mike Plotnikoff, I'm like, I just want to channel my inner Cliff Williams. For those of you who are not smart enough to know who that is. The bass player for AC/DC for the last 40 years until he just left recently. So I channeled.
That's it. Alienate these kids.
Sorry, man. Do your homework, kids. You don't know. Anyways, so I much like my philosophy in life, keep it simple, stupid. I laid it down, baby.
That's how it goes.
I just laid it down.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy. Don't bore us. Get to the chorus.
You know, he is one of the best in the biz. So I let some of that confidence, spill over into your audience.
Yeah.
Hi.
Now, at this point for Buckcherry, has the making of every record been its own experience, or do you guys have like a formula that you follow that when making a record?
Yeah, I would say this has been a different experience.
Yeah.
Because several of the last records were done at one place with the same producer, and this one we kind of went back to the beginning, and there were different people in charge, different writers, so and different players. So the one constant is me, Kelly, and Josh. And so it still stays in line with who Buckcherry is, but I think the spectrum is a little wider. You know what I mean?
It's always going to sound like Buckcherry because of Josh, but I think definitely it did expand. There's just a little more of an edge on some of the stuff too, and the ballads came out. We had 2 ballads. No, serious, they're really good. I listened to them after I got the mix. I'm like, wow, these are really good. Because usually I'm like, more rock.
I'm sure this audience loves ballads.
Hey, I don't care, man. They're good songs. Good song's a good song.
Good song's a good song.
I don't care. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Can you growl?
I could try.
Go ahead. Let me hear one.
Nice.
I might crop that out.
It's Hot-Blooded plays in the background.
Dude, you're so fucking metal.
Hey,
I love it.
I like Behemoth.
So do I. Now, what I was curious about with Buckcherry is there something that ever comes first in the songwriting process? Do you guys have to lay down guitars first? Is there like a vocal concept that determines the music?
I would say there's a couple things. The dynamic, there's a couple things that happen. Either Josh comes with a vocal line that we put the song around, or one of us will come up with a riff, and then we'll see if he connects with it. So we'll sit down the riff with a click, and then he'll sing along to it. If he connects, then we build. It's a skeleton at that point, and then we build we put the flesh on it. You know what I mean? To build the personality. So that's usually the 2 ways that it happens. I mean, I would love to say that there's you know, one set way, but it's constantly evolving. You know what I mean? So
Whatever gets the job done.
yeah.
That's all that matters. Now, Buckcherry has toured with like a variety of different bands. Like I know you've toured with Avenged Sevenfold numerous times, but you also did a tour with like All That Remains and The Damned Things, which
Wow.
I remember getting a flyer for that tour, and I wasn't anywhere near me at the time, and I
It was all Europe.
yeah,
It was
I
all
was
Europe.
so pissed.
Dude, I think in this environment, Buckcherry is an anomaly. You know what I mean? We're still a rock and roll band, but we were heavily influenced by stuff in the 60s, 70s, guitar rock. But when we came out, it was on the radio, and so they would just pair us up with other bands that were kind of drawing the same numbers. So we'd end up with The Damn Things or Avenged Sevenfold or Papa Roach or Hell Yeah. I mean, there was no rhyme or reason because there were no other bands like us. You know what I mean? So we would just go out with whoever, and it seemed to be fine. You know, like I would say there was a few instances where there was some like goth kids in the front row going, you know, but you can't.
Goth kids, that's what they do.
But you can't. You can't.
That was a sign of approval.
The fact that they exerted energy and made a finger.
Yeah.
Start spitting, because that's what they do at some shows.
Yep.
So there's some bands that do that, right?
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, spit on us," and that means you like us or something.
Yeah,
weird.
that's their seal of approval.
Yeah. It's
Better for them to say shit than to say nothing.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they're there. They didn't leave. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And we won a lot of people over in the process. So.
Yeah. Now, you guys call yourselves like a rock and roll band, and that's definitely what it is. But I feel like you guys do have like a variety in your sound. You mentioned you have ballads, but then you have down and dirty rocks.
Yeah, we got Drop D. There's actually a couple songs, Devil in the Details and Vacuum. Those are kind of the alarm, Drop D, and kind of dirty.
But I would say our heaviness doesn't come so much from metal as it comes from, let's say, punk rock. You know what I mean? That side of being heavy.
And
you know, the spirit
we're honestly, and I think it's probably part of
there's been plenty of punk rock bands that used to play with Fear. I'll toot your horn.
Yeah.
Fear.
Goldfinger. 22 Jacks, if anybody knows. There's a lot of dudes from like influential punk bands were in that one, and but we, a lot of the thing too is we're kind of influenced by funk a little bit too. So, man, we're all
Sly
like
and the Family Stone,
dude,
James Brown,
Parliament,
Earth, Wind and Fire,
all that cool shit. Ohio
Cool and the
Gang.
Gang.
Yeah, dude. Robert Cool Bell on the bass. So I mean, honestly, we kind of run the gamut, but ultimately, I think on stage we like to fucking rock.
Yeah.
We're just fucking rockers.
Yeah. We run.
But, being that you have heavier songs and some slower songs, is it fair to say that Buckcherry likes to experiment when they're in the studio and making new music?
I think maybe in the demoing process. Once we get to the recording studio, we wrote over 50 songs, and then we whittled it down to, let's say, 20, and then we whittled that down to 11. So when it gets to the 11, we're not messing around. We're really hyper focusing on what we want for those specific songs. You know what I mean?
You ever worried that the song you crop out is going to be on like a B-side record and just be the biggest hit you guys ever had?
I mean, like what? Can you think of any songs in particular?
Well, Crazy Bitch was written 2 years before it actually came out. You know what I
Really?
mean?
That was kind of. You tell the story.
Well, I mean, Keith and Josh wrote that one as the first band was splintering. So they sat on that one for, I don't know, a couple years before before we got back together, before they reformed the band. It's hard to say, what's going to be a hit. You know what I mean? We've been flying without a record label and putting it out ourselves for the last few years. We finally got with Sony Red Century Media for this one. So we have help on picking those crucial songs, what they think is going to be, which is going to connect with more people. So we just released Bent. We did all the songs, but they were the ones that picked Bent to be the first single. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I have 2 more questions for you guys. When you're playing like a ballad versus playing like a very heavy song, is there like a different emotion that you guys do feel on stage, or is even like a different live experience playing it live?
I mean, for me, it's I play just out of passion. So if I'm playing a fast, heavy song, it's just faster and heavier. I mean, it's just faster, really. The ballads, I still put everything that I have into it, and I still hit as hard, and it's because it's still a powerful song. They move you. It's full of passion. So to me, I kind of approach it.
Sometimes playing a slower song is a little bit more difficult. I mean, it could still be heavy, but like a slower song is a little bit harder to play.
Way harder.
Than a heavy, fast song.
I'll tell you why. Because when you're playing a fast song, it's skipping along so quick, you might stumble, but as long as you keep up, you're good. If you're playing a slow song and you slightly botch a note, your keister is hanging in the wind, and everybody knows you're the one that messed up.
Especially, like with these guys, they're the rhythm section. If you fuck up, like on bass or drums, I mean, there's no way of hiding that. You know what I mean? Like if I play guitar, there's a lot of atmosphere going on. There's distortion. There's gain. I can fuck up, but I don't. Yeah. But if I did, less people just do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice it. Somebody else pointed it out, but I saddle right up to the kick drum every time we do a ballad, mostly Sorry, because it is at such a slower tempo, and we usually play that fourth. We have our ballad spots in the set, so right before it is usually like, yeah! So I gotta just totally I get my butt in my ear.
Yeah, adrenaline's going.
I get right next to the kick drum. I get my left side right up next to it every time. And I didn't even notice that why do you always stand next to the kick drum when we play Sorry? And I'm like, oh, well, because I want to hear the fucking kick drum.
The way I kind of describe it too is like, have you ever been on just a regular bicycle and tried to pedal as slow as you possibly can?
Yeah.
And just kind of like, it's easier when you're pedaling fast because it almost goes on its own, But when you're playing that slow, it's like, and try to go in a straight line when you're pedaling that slow. That's kind of what.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, that is a good analogy. No, he's right.
He said anal.
Start.
And now, G.
There's a really good heavy band called Anal Nakrath. That's what I was.
Oh, okay.
So,
Where are they from?
England, I think.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Anal crack.
Are you aware who these guys are? Okay.
He don't fucking know.
And final question I'd like to have is let's do a gear rundown if you guys want to go down and say what your weapons of choice are.
Yeah, Peisty cymbals, excellent. Yamaha drums, ProMark drumsticks, Humensenberg drum cases. Those guys are behind us, backing us. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sully guitars, orange amps.
Awesome. Simple setup. I love it.
Oh, Gin Dunlop, everything else.
And Rapco. Of course, Rapco.
I was about to say we're at the booth.
Yeah.
I got a couple more because I like gear. Spectre basses, Ernie Ball basses, Yamaha basses. Love you guys. Aguilar amplification, dark glass pedals. Also, Tech 21, Doug Pinnick pedal. Awesome. Love it. And DR strings. And I'm probably forgetting some people, Ultimate Ears.
Awesome. Ultimate
Yeah. Do you guys use the gear that you use because it's just something you've always been playing and you're most comfortable using it, or is it kind of like adapted to your style of music that you play?
I mean, I'm playing exactly what I want to play because it's to me it's the best. It sounds the best. It holds up the best. The people that work for these companies are the best. So it's just everything involved. You need the support of not just the gear that you're playing, but the infrastructure behind it. If you're playing in different areas, you need gear at those places, and you need to work with a company that believes in you, is supportive of you, and can actually get the gear to you, where you need it. So,
yeah. What about you?
I forgot the question.
I knew that was coming. No, do you just play the gear that you do because it goes along with the style of music that you play, or is it just something you've always played and that you're comfortable?
I mean, I used to play different gear because of the style of music I do. We do rock and roll, and I would use older guitars and older amps. I've just recently switched because the other band we do, Josh Todd and the Conflict, required heavier gear, and I just, it's just more fun to play, or it's like it travels better. It's hard to take around a 1957 Les Paul with you and not worry about it all the time. You know what I mean? That's where the infrastructure is helpful with these companies, because a lot of these companies have representation in not just the United States, but in England and in Europe, and or Japan, where if something goes wrong, they've got your back. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm with these specific companies. Yeah.
And as for you, because you have more gear than anybody.
It seems like it, but I probably don't. I like to use what I like. If I don't like it, I don't want to use it. I don't really do an exclusive bass deal, because if I want to play my Spectres on a tour, I want to play my Spectres. If I want to play my Yamahas, I'll play my. If I want to play a Bill Nash custom P bass, or a Pat Wilkins custom bass, I'll play that. So yeah, I just like what I like, and all that stuff I play, I really like.
Awesome. So before we go, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Yep. Just so Warpaint's coming out March 8th. Yep. And I know that you're doing a U.S. headlining tour. I'll catch you at the New York City show.
Yes, sir. Irving Plaza.
Yep, Irving Plaza. Is there just anything else with the band, obviously, that you're allowed to talk about that you would like to promote, or any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I mean, we said that, the gear, we're just looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Want everybody at the show having a good time, rocking out to the new album, as well as all the standard hits, and just having a great time, and supporting it.
Shout out, I would like to say to all you metalheads, learn your goddamn AC/DC, man. Also, death to false metal.
Warpaint, March 8th. We'll be on the road for the next 2 years on it, and go check us out. If you don't know who we are, go to facebook.com/Buckcherry, or on Instagram @Buckcherry.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yep. We are here with Buckcherry. Pick up Warpaint, and we'll see you next time on Heavy New York, everybody. NAMM 2019.